Back with another movie review. It's your boy, Brother Cretaceous. Uncle Curdy, also known as the Golden Stallion, also known as the Centaur. Back with another video for you. Today we got a Losacious lower day. I was going to do the upper day. That's why the thumbnail has the upper one in there. But I don't have 10 minutes of yapping about Blade for you. So we're going to do a little movie review about Blade. But like I said, I don't have 10 minutes for you. I've got to be honest. It was a great movie. Really enjoyed it. A little bit to talk about, but not that long. Let's get into the review. So I was having a look at the little Blade movie there. Watched it the other day with me and brother and my partner. And yeah, it was lots of fun. It was really good. The last time I watched it when I was like a little kid, I was way too young to be watching it at that age. But I did, and I loved it as a kid. The first thing that stood out to me as an adult watching it was how 90s the acting is. Wesley Snipes is giving all these 90s eyeballs every second of the movie. Whoever plays a whistler, he's always like cocking his neck and like, it's great. I love 90s acting. It's so fun. You know what I mean? Everybody's having a good time out there. And the other thing that stood out to me was the action wasn't as good as I remember as a kid. Like when I was a kid, man, that action was crazy. It was like kung fu everywhere, flipping the sword, and I thought it was incredible as a kid. When I watched it back as an adult, it is pre-Matrix and it looks pre-Matrix. You know what I mean? It is noticeably pre-Matrix, and that was like a little bit of a letdown. I'm not gonna be honest, especially because Wesley Snipes is such a like. He's got the ability there, you know what I mean? Like he can do that kung fu sort of stuff, but they don't really seem to give him as much platform for it as maybe they could have or should have. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll see how we go. I really liked the story in there as well. It was interesting to watch. Just like I said, as a kid, you don't really pick up on too much of the story. It's basically vampire, Blade kills vampire, da da da, and the other thing you don't pick up is the themes of the movie, especially when it comes to like the vampires, it's like sucking people's blood or whatever. Whenever they do that, it's like really sexualized, like it's associated with kissing and like whenever they bite someone, they kiss someone else, and like it's really like that makes them horny somehow. Like it's very very interesting, and all the vampires are bisexual. Another thing, obviously, that you don't really notice as a kid. So there's definitely that sort of like hypersexualization there that happens in that movie. And I didn't really get what the movie was trying to say by that. Like, did they just do it because like it's a trope that vampires are hypersexual? Like, is that why that they're like that? Because other than that, like it doesn't really say anything with that story. It sort of just presents it. And that sort of comes to the really weird relationship Blade has with his mother in the movie. Like, the weird sexual tension between his mother and him is so like out of nowhere. It doesn't really like, there's no explanation for it. They don't really like use it to say anything else. They kind of just have it there, and it like feels really weird. You're watching it and you're like, oh my god, like I'm in the room with these people, and they're doing like it's like someone's house that you want to leave. You know what I mean? You're like, I don't want to be a part of this. This is creepy as hell, man. And yeah, they never really go into it. They sort of just put it on the table and then walk away. I was like, oh my god, what is this for? Who is this for? That bit was weird, man. The other thing I noticed that sort of happens in there is that Blade is surprisingly anti-cop, like the movie and the character, the whole time, and really really love to see that. Especially the Marvel movies that you watch today is so like pro, like every superhero movie, you know what it's like. But yeah, Blade in there, basically the police are just as much of the enemy of him as the vampires are, and it's really interesting to see that. The first time the police show up, they just start firing at him in the hospital with civilians all around, and Blade has one of his best one-liners right early on in the movie. You know the one that I'm talking about, and yeah, they're just firing on her, even though Karen's the blood doctor guy, she's like right in the line of fire, and they're just shooting straight at her. Like, I'm like, oh my god, there you go, there you go. So yeah, that was really great to see that, especially because that was kind of the only thing the movie said, in terms of the themes that we like just mentioned already. That was the only theme that sort of they were trying to say something with that. You know what I mean? You could see that there's this sentiment there that the poor and disenfranchised people who are like victims of the vampires. Like the vampires are a pretty obvious metaphor for um, the oppression that regular people are being like suffered under in the movie, and the police are obviously just the agents of those. We'll call them, we'll call them what they are, rich folk, you know. So that was really great to see, especially if you were trying to like explain that to somebody who doesn't really understand how the police like aid rich folk and systematically oppress poor people. Like you watch the movie and you sort of get it without having to explain it, you know. So yeah, highly recommend the Blade movie. I really enjoyed it. Would watch the other two. If I remember correctly, the third one's pretty shit, but I don't really remember the second one, so I'm gonna have to go in there and watch it. So you might see another review coming up shortly. You know what I mean? Anyway, good on these boys. Stay safe out there.